Happy Thursday and welcome to Spring Trends on Western Spring Television. My name is Emmanuel Ujadigele, EM Ujadigele on Twitter. Let's get straight down to business. The Department of State Service has been in the news. If you followed the interview segment, we've just looked at some of the things that have occurred in Nigeria. The DSS, let's take their statement for you now and how much of controversy that statement has generated. The DSS press release, DSS confirms plot for interim government by misguided political actors. The Department of State Services, DSS, has identified some key players in the plot for an interim government in Nigeria. The service considers the plot being pursued by those entrenched interests as not only an aberration, but a mischievous way to set aside the Constitution. Went ahead to talk about how it will be, carried out, sponsoring endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of state of emergency. But now let's see how Nigerians have responded to that particular statement by the DSS. We begin with Ebenezer Wikina says, "Why are you disgracing us? If the CBN is moving like a political party, the DSS wants to join too. Why? Why have you decided to embarrass always?" Away from Eben, Ima Ike Ume says, "DSS don't finish, Sha. What kind of press statement is that? Who are they warning of an interim government? They should go after those planning it now. The DSS is either indicting the president or the military, because these are the only ones who can possibly form an interim government." The next comment is from Maurice Momo. Maurice Monnier says, Maurice, let's see what Maurice has to say. He says, "But wait. I thought only a present government can install an interim government. Case study, the evil genius himself, IBB. The DSS are giving us clues." That's the next comment. Our next comment comes from Mindset. It says, "It appears the DSS is accusing the Nigerian government of planning to install an interim government." That's Mindset giving us that response there. Maybe Sikpeme says, "I think the DSS mistake was coming to Twitter. The once dreaded law enforcement agency is beginning to give police vibes. See finish is a terrible thing." And Mavis continues by saying the DSS has uncovered 5 plots since INEC announced Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president-elect. "I'm just here wondering how they've not been able to seek out the hideout of just about 40 Boko Haramists terrorizing Nigeria for over a decade." Nayelugo says, "Nigeria is finished. Our security service, the DSS, is telling us about a plan to install an interim government. What do they expect us to do? Thwart the plan? Is it not their work to thwart the plan? Rishi for Obodo, Nigeria." Abiodun Sanusi says, "But why is the DSS telling us instead of approaching the court, getting a warrant of arrest, interrogating and prosecuting them? The DSS is a security agency, a secret one at that, not a media platform." Vincent Ufoma says, "The DSS is now entertaining us. They are working very hard to join the skit industry." We must say that these are the comments of people on social media. So in case the DSS wants to pick anybody up, please look for these handles. It's not me. I'm not there. Daniel Adebanjo says, "This is meant to be a social media of a top securities agency in Nigeria, not a political party handle or a comic relief handle." Michael C. Bernard says, "Wait, the DSS said frivolous court injunctions. So if a court orders for the inauguration to be halted, it is frivolous? Wow. Okay. Imran U. Wakali says, "The plot to install interim government is not a beer parlor gist. The DSS confirmed that there is a plan to install an interim government to stop Bat from being sworn in as the president. They will fail, inshallah." Hammer says, "The only person that can be planning interim government is Buhari. The DSS should have named the planner. In the absence of it, the suspect is Buhari since he is the one in power." Very bold statement. Emma Pamina says, "These guys did not confirm any plot or plans to do anything. They are trying to form proactive here. The question is, why would the DSS be on Twitter talking to the public? How would Kwakwanso's people who are not on social media get the message?" And Esteem is our last commentator. He says, "Seems like the DSS opened a cruise account on Twitter because that's the only way to explain what they just put out." But that's all on the DSS this morning. Let's travel down to Imo State. You must have heard of Emeka Ihedioha. Emeka Ihedioha was the person who won the election in 2019, but his election was cancelled by the Supreme Court, and Hope Uzodinma, was installed was given the winnership of that election after the court examined some of the complaints and some of the petitions that were submitted by the party. But that's not what we're looking at this morning. What we're looking at is the fact that Emeka Ihedioha of the PDP has now dropped out of the governorship race. He has tendered his resignation from the party, but his withdrawal from the race. Now let's look at that letter. It says, notification of my withdrawal from the Imo State PDP gubernatorial primaries. As I turned 58 years last Friday, March 24, I had cause to reflect on so many things, including the state of the People's Democratic Party. Now, it says, in the interest of harmony and unity of the party, I have elected to make personal sacrifice of withdrawing from further participation